Back on the SportsMax zone, we turn to football now. After 3 weeks of action, the 2022 Africa Cup of Nations, well, that will come to a boiling point Sunday with Senegal playing Egypt in the final at the Olembe Stadium in Yaoundé, Cameroon. The match will be Senegal's third appearance in Africa's showpiece event as they try to lift their maiden title, while Egypt, no strangers to the big stage, will be seeking a record-extending 8th title. The final promises to be an enticing affair as both teams enter the contest with contrasting form in front of goal. Egypt managed to reach the final scoring only 4 goals compared to Senegal's 9. Here's how both teams reached to the final. The Egyptians, after losing their opener to Nigeria, went on to beat Guinea-Bissau and Sudan. And then in their playoff matches, a knockout phase of the competition, they had to go extra time in all of those matches. 4-5 on penalties over 5-4 on penalties over the Ivory Coast, and they beat Morocco 2-1 in extra time and 3-1 on penalties over Cameroon. That was Egypt's road to the final. Let's look at Senegal, who were a little bit more prolific in front of goal. 1-0 over Zimbabwe, 0 with Guinea, 0 with Senegal, with Malawi. But then in the knockout stages, they got through their results all in normal time. Senegal 2-0 over Cape Verde, 3-1 over Equatorial Guinea, and 3-1 over Burkina Faso. So there's been a request for the final to be staged on Monday instead of Sunday after Egypt asked for a day's delay because of how grueling their knockout matches were. Egypt went the full distance, as you saw, extra time and penalties in the knockout matches, well, at least 2 of the knockout matches, unlike Senegal, who wrapped up their business within 90 minutes. Egypt's assistant head coach, Dia Al-Sayed, says playing the final on Sunday would be an unfair advantage to their opponent, Senegal. Here's what he said. I asked CAF, that's the Confederation of African Football, that the final will be played on Monday. There is 1 more day of recovery for Senegal. I hope that as we have advanced the match for 3rd place, we will play on Monday. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. We haven't heard anything definitive yet, but very unlikely that the organizers would fold to that request. Mariah, do you think the final should be postponed?
I think that's a very ridiculous request because you set a schedule a particular way. It has nothing to do with me, you know, how you went about winning your matches, whether it went on to penalties or if you won it without going to penalties. That has nothing to do with the organizers. Yes, Egypt, I understand their matches were a bit longer and a bit more tiring, if we want to call it that, because a lot of them went to penalties. But I don't think that is enough grounds for them to postpone the match from Sunday to Monday. And how much rest can you possibly get from Sunday to Monday?
Well, you know, the fact is that usually these things aren't discretionary. They are scheduled, and
That's
with, you know, TV broadcasts and so on, you don't just get up and make a decision like that. So up to this point, I haven't heard CAF, you know, say definitively that the request cannot be, granted. But I would expect that, I wouldn't even think that it would be considered, because that's not how these things go. You have a schedule, you have 3rd place playoffs finals, and it is listed, and not because a team had, well, unfortunately for them, had to go extra time and penalties and, you know, grueling matches in the knockout phase, that you're going to look at that now.
Special privileges.
Yeah, and grant them special privileges. So I think it's a very weird request, and I'd be stunned if CAF grants them that. I'm pretty certain they won't.
Well, you know, you're making your point over there, and I'm sitting here thinking, you know, one of our top competitions on SportsMax calls us and say, well, you know, we had to go to penalties in a particular match, so I need y'all to take off the SportsMax zone, move aside everything, because we'd like to play on Monday at 4:30. Obviously, management would be very, very disturbed by such a request, and again, at the time that it's coming, because, of course, we have to pay in mind that Senegal would have been preparing, and they're also part of the competition and the final.
Yeah. The match itself, though, I think Egypt are widely regarded as underdogs going into the match, not only because of the grueling last 4 or 5 days that they have had, but Senegal have been the more impressive of the two teams throughout the rounds. And I know that from a trademark standpoint, Egypt has a bigger standing or a more respected standing in African football than Senegal does. But, you know, you have things called the changing of the guard. And while the Egyptians have, you know, propelled themselves to the final match, which puts them in a position to win again, I don't think in their performances in the African Cup of Nations so far that they have been as impressive as Senegal. I think Senegal have looked better throughout the rounds and into the knockout phase.
Yeah, what I do know is the manner in which they're pushing the finals, it's Sadio Mane versus Mohamed Salah, which is mouth-watering in itself. And of course, it's very selling, it's very attractive. So if you pit both of them man-to-man, obviously I'm picking Mo Salah because of the fact that, you know, he's been really brilliant for Liverpool. But then you can't really, and I'm saying this to myself and I'm thinking out loud here on the show, that you can't really base that on one man. As good Mohamed Salah has been, Sadio Mane has also been brilliant. So coming down to the final, I really think that it would, for me, I would go the extra mile to say if it goes down to penalties, I'll give Egypt the edge, and only because they've gotten the practice leading up to this particular final. But truly, they're equally matched, and it's anyone's game for the taking.
Yeah, and Jurgen Klopp, the Liverpool manager who manages both Sadio Mane and Mo Salah in club football in England, told the media that he is very happy to see them both clashing in the final.
Amazing final.
And he's happy that two of his boys will be battling for the title. So either way, one of them will win.
Yeah, and Liverpool will be a happy team.
That's right. We go to break. When we come back, I think it will be time for Mariah's second zone updates.
Are you sure?
I think so.